Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. When Xi Jinping got his unanimous votes for his third term from the CCP's two sessions on March 10th, the U.S. House also unanimously passed a bill that would require the Biden administration to declassify intelligence information about the origins of COVID-19. Some say this is a gift for Xi Jinping. Actually, this is exactly what Xi Jinping feels the most, and also the reason why he publicly attacked the US for the first time during the two sessions in Beijing. Why does he feel the mentioning of the COVID-19 origins? Today, let's talk about this. As Xi Jinping began his third term, the CCP and China's history, as well as US-China relations, have undoubtedly entered a new phase. On March 6, during the so-called two sessions in Beijing, Xi Jinping made a real direct criticism of the US, saying that Western countries led by the United States have imposed a comprehensive containment, blockade, and pressure on us, bring unprecedented severe changes to our country's development. At that time, many China experts said that it was very unusual for the highest level of the country to directly attack another country because by doing so, there wouldn't be any buffer zone between the two countries. In the past, it was usually the CCP's werewolf diplomats who came out to attack the US. Why would Xi Jinping personally involve himself in this affair? Well, according to Professor Yuan Hongbin, it was because of Xi Jinping's deepest fear to be held responsible for the pandemic. Yuan Hongbin said, according to his source inside the CCP system, the reasons for the global spread of the coronavirus are as follows. The logistics staff of a biological warfare lab run by the CCP military in Wuhan secretly took various animals that were used in experiments out of the lab and sold them at a seafood market in Wuhan to make a profit. These animals included bats and pangolins, and this caused the COVID outbreak in Wuhan. At the beginning of the outbreak, the mayor and the CCP secretary of Wuhan City, as well as relevant leaders of Hubei province, all reported the situation to CCP's central government in writing. However, Xi Jinping ordered them to cover up the outbreak. Why? Because the new year was coming, and in order to show that the Xi Jinping era was a time of peace and prosperity, the news about the outbreak had to be suppressed. So that was what Xi Jinping did. And exactly because of his order, COVID eventually became a global disaster, perhaps the biggest one for humanity in the 21st century. That was also the reason why Xi Jinping adopted the insane zero COVID policy. He wanted to dress up the CCP as a model and a leader in the global pandemic fighting to cover up his own responsibility for the outbreak of COVID. The reason why Xi Jinping suddenly ended the zero COVID policy was the same. He was afraid that the white paper revolution or blank paper revolution or A4 revolution will make people inside and outside China start talking about the origin of COVID-19 pandemic again. What made Xi Jinping even more afraid was that a senior official at the CCP's Central Commission for Discipline Inspection had actually secretly kept a copy of the 2019 document with Xi Jinping's instruction on covering up the pandemic on it. That was powerful evidence to hold Xi Jinping accountable for the cover-up. Unfortunately, the official was reported on by somebody and got arrested. He later committed suicide in prison. Another reason why Xi Jinping has been extremely anxious recently is because of an internal report. This report was published in an internal publication that only high-level CCP officials can read. This report says it is highly possible that Donald Trump will win the election within the Republican Party and represent the, Republican Party in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. If Trump becomes the U.S. president again, he might again pursue investigating the origin of COVID. This issue could even become a key diplomatic policy for the American government then. In the meantime, in order to compete with the Republican Party, the Biden administration could also increase diplomatic efforts to trace the origin of COVID. To a considerable extent, it was this internal report that once again stimulated Xi Jinping's deep-seated anxiety and fears and made him enter an irrational state. That's why he publicly named the US and accused the US and other Western countries of suppressing China during the CCP's 2 sessions. Now, let's talk a little bit about how the new CCP leadership has become Xi's one-man tour. While a lot of Western media have been trying to figure out what kind of a person China's new premier Li Qiang is and how his new cabinet will manage China, 3 old photos are banned in China now after being spread widely. Let's take a look at the 3 photos. This one was a photo of Xi Jinping and Li Qiang taken in 2005. At that time, Xi Jinping was the CCP Secretary of Zhejiang Province, while Li Qiang was the Secretary General of the Zhejiang Provincial CCP Committee. This group photo was also taken in 2005 from left to the right. They are Li Qiang, Ding Xuexiang, Xi Jinping, Cai Qi, and Li Xi. Who would believe that 18 years later, all the 5 people in the photo would all become members of the CCP's Political Bureau Standing Committee? This is to say 5 out of the 7 members of the CCP's Political Bureau Standing Committee are Xi Jinping's old subordinates. This old photo shows Xi Jinping and Li Qiang attending some sort of meeting together. So all 3 of these old photos tell us the same thing. From now on, only Xi Jinping's own people are in charge. Nobody else survived. People have been also trying to comment on Li Qiang's first ever press conference after becoming the new premier. For me, the most impressive thing is, whichever question he answered, he always began with a quote from Xi Jinping. Because General Secretary Xi Jinping says this or that, we need to do this or that. So I guess this photo speaks very well about their relationship. Look at the expression on Xi Jinping's face. For him, Li Qiang is only an obedient servant. So in a way, the core of the so-called reform program of the party and the state institutions proposed at the 2 sessions is only to further strengthen the dictatorship of Xi Jinping. So Xi Jinping's deepest fear may decide what he will do next. From many different sides, it seems that Xi Jinping is preparing to bring the country to pre-war status. By the way, I'd like to do some experiments today. That is, instead of talking about two topics in one longer video, I will try to break them up into two short videos. So this will be my first video for today, and I will soon release my second video, which is about the Chinese economy. Please leave me a comment to tell me whether you like a longer video with more topics or shorter ones with a single topic. Thank you very much. If you like my content, please spread my channel and videos or go to my website at jenniferzengblog.com. That's jenniferzengblog.com. Sign up for a membership or make a donation to show your support. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.